Hello there folks. Today we're going to go ahead and take a trip on the Grande subdivision. Only UP runs out here. As you can see, Grande is in the bottom right corner and it reaches up in the upper left corner to Hinkle. The best part of the area as far as I'm concerned is from about Grande to Meacham. That's the area that I explored specifically on this trip. I didn't hit anything west of Meacham, but hopefully another day I'll be able to hit that. As you can tell from this quick little diagram, basically I-84 is your main buddy, and then as you'll see, we'll go into some of the roads that'll help you out, get you the best action. Here we are in what I would call the central Grande. As you can see to your left, kind of, it says Brickyard Lanes, Hobby Habit, Side A, Brewing Public House. Basically, that's First Street right there, FIR, and that's where I would catch the trains, which we'll see here shortly. It's a good place because, as you can see, there's a yard to the left, and that's the crew change point because the Grande is a crew change point. So you can get a train coming in, and usually it'll block First Street, finish catching it, and then once you catch it, if you want to chase the train, you can go ahead and chase the train, and depending on what type of freight it is, sometimes you can catch it pretty easily, other times it's a little bit of a battle. Our first stop west of Grande is going to be none other than Perry. As you can see towards the left, it says Perry in black. If you keep following that road, what will happen is you will run into something called the Historic Arch Bridge, and that's where I'll show you some of the action that I was able to capture. It's a pretty good location in terms of traffic going around the bend, westbound or eastbound. Eastbound traffic on the west side of the bridge, not the greatest. You do have the river there, which is nice, but as far as many angles, not a whole lot of angles, and there's not a whole lot of room in terms of being able to get it, boom, shot down. So we'll go ahead and take a look. Hey there folks, guess what? Another stop at the Upper Perry Arch Bridge. We've got a nice little river there. It's a one-man or one-lane bridge, so be careful. And on this side, yep, you got the river and you got the tracks with a nice curve. So we're waiting for a couple here, and hopefully it'll be good, and we'll be able to post it. Thanks, folks. Hillgard is our next stop, and as you can see, the off-ramp, I believe, for that is going to be 5 Point Creek Road, which turns in to Hillgard Lane. If you stay on Hillgard Lane there, you'll come across the tracks. You probably can't park there. You can probably park a little bit ways away. It is a gravel road, as you'll see in the video, but not one where you would need a truck to go on this gravel road. It's a good spot because it does have the railroad crossbucks, so you can catch a train no problem. It's got a good curve there, a good long straightaway, and it's not a bad place as you'll see. All right, folks, guess what? We got another spot. We're at Hillgard Lane. As you can see, we got a nice straightaway to our left. So that's kind of nice if you got some eastbounds coming. However, if you take a look around, you're gonna say if you got a westbound, that's a pretty nice curve to be at. You got a dirt gravel road here. Like I said, this is Hillguard Lane in Hillguard. Plus you got a road crossing with the gates there, so if you take a nap, bells and whistles will wake you up. So what we're going to see here is a place called Old Emigrant Hill Scenic Frontage Road. I know it's a mouthful, but it's a really good location. The first location when you get off that off-ramp, as you will be able to tell, the off-ramp goes over the tracks and then under the freeway. So you can park a vehicle, because it's asphalt here, you can park a vehicle like kind of in the dirt just a little bit past the overpass, and then kind of hike a little bit, probably 100 feet maybe, to the overpass for the railroad, for the trains to catch them. Good for westbounds, good for eastbounds. It's a pretty tight bridge, so I don't know if I would necessarily want to stand on it. Not a whole lot of traffic comes through there as far as vehicles go, but I probably would just want to stand there for the train, and just, you can hear the train coming usually, because it'll be in run 8 usually. Well, depending on which way they're coming, they could, if the run 8 if they're westbound, and dynamics if they're eastbound. Now, if you continue along that Old Emigrant Hill Scenic Frontage Road, after you come underneath the underpass of the I-84, immediately to your left, you're going to see a dirt/rock area where you can park your vehicle. That's a good place to catch trains. Good long straightaway, a curve coming underneath the interstate, and then Old Emigrant Hill Scenic Frontage Road. You can keep going on that. That's paved. That's asphalt. So you can take that all the way until the next shot, which will be when you get to I-84. But along this road, there are different spots where you can capture the trains. One of them being Camila, which is the summit, which we'll get to here shortly. But there are different locations along that frontage road. And as far as catching the train goes, if you have a heavy westbound, more than likely, if you catch it at 1st Street in La Grande, you should be able to probably catch it at Hillguard. Like I said, if it's a heavy one, you can probably catch it at Hillguard. And then if you go at a decent speed, you should be able to catch it here on Old Emigrant Hill Scenic Frontage Road. And then probably maybe one more spot, which would be Camila. If you're really fast and it's really slow, you might be able to get it a couple spots on Old Emigrant Hill Scenic Frontage Road, but sometimes it's quite the battle to get it. Hey there, now we're here at Old Emigrant Hill Scenic Frontage Road. You can see the grade. It's pretty nice and steep. When you take a look over here to your left, you got Highway 84 above it, or next to it, and then you got the bridge in the back. Probably not advisable to stand on unless you're really paying attention. It's just 2 small, tiny lanes, but you can get the train coming pretty good from that direction as well. Now here we are at Camila, which is the summit. You'll see that there will be some houses there where you will see the little, I don't know what you say, the name Camila, and next to it. I personally like to rail fan a little bit railroad east of there, along that old immigrant scenic hill frontage road. I don't like to be close to the houses. I don't remember if there were any no trespassing signs, but nonetheless, I would go probably about a mile or so east of here, and you should be able to catch trains there as well. Once again, angle's not super great, but the train will be going slow and make for some good run 8 action. Not all the time, but oftentimes I was also noticing that eastbounds would hold here for the westbound to make it up to the summit. So sometimes you might be going down that old Immigrant Hill Road here, and you think like, okay, perfect, I caught that westbound, I'm gonna go catch it at Meacham, right? Or Meacham. Sometimes you gotta keep your head on a swivel and look to your left as you're going down that road, because oftentimes, like I said, they'll have an eastbound that's just waiting there for that westbound to basically clear up. So stay aware of that. Here we are. We're getting close to the summit at Camila, but not quite. We're at a little overlook, and you can see that the westbound trains, it's a great little curve there. But then if you're looking for trying to catch something from the headed east, not the best angle. All right. Now the last spot on this rail guide series is going to be Meacham or Meacham, however you want to call it. I don't really know, so we're just going to take a guess. But you're going to want to catch the trains by that Oregon Trails store and deli. That area, there's a crossing, and then if you'll see there's a, what do you call it? I think Utah Department of Transportation yard. Kind of in that area. I didn't notice any no trespassing signs, but always be aware because things change. But there's a nice curve on, I guess, the east side of town, you would call it, for trains coming out of the canyon and into the canyon. It looks better when they're coming out of the canyon and they're headed eastbound, but nonetheless, it's still got a nice curve coming out of the canyon. So definitely a place to catch trains. Now, if you caught an intermodal, let's say that was westbound and it was at Camila, there was some road construction going on, so the usual off-ramp, you couldn't cross the bridge to get to Meacham real quick like you usually can. So I really can't say for 100% certainty if you could catch the intermodal or not, because I had to go another few miles on I-84, get off at the exit, and kind of double back to get to Meacham, and I couldn't catch an intermodal. So take it for what it's worth, that once they get that road and bridge done, I would think you would be able to, I would hope you would be able to catch it, because your speed is probably 50 or 60 going down that side road, and then you get on the highway, and I think the speed limit might be 70 or 75. So you should be able to catch it once they get that construction done. This was shot, by the way, in early or mid 2025. Here we are at Meacham, Oregon, on the Blue Mountains. Hopefully this will give you a good idea here. I'm a little bit just, I guess, railroad west of the crossing there. Parked up, not private property or anything, so we're good to go. As you can see, you can get something coming from the headed westbound. Or I think the best one, realistically, is if they're eastbound. but we're waiting for a westbound, so that settles that.